So everybody here has probably undertaken the caliber debate at one point in time or the other. I know that I'm guilty of that. But you know, usually the mainstream debate ranges between the 45 ACP, the 40 S&W, and the 9mm. But I find that if you don't include the 10 mil, that list is a little lacking. The 10mm was introduced in 1983 by Jeff Cooper. He designed the 10mm auto for the original Bren 10mm pistol. What Jeff wanted to accomplish with the 10mm is he wanted something that would shoot flatter than a 45 ACP, but have more knockdown punch than the 9mm. So what he came up with was 10mm. Now the FBI adopted the 10mm in 1986 as their official cartridge. But later on, and this was in response to the Miami shootout in Florida in 1986. But what they found from their firearms training unit, their official training unit, they said, and I quote, they determined its recoil was excessive in terms of training for the average agent and police officer's competency of use and qualification. So pretty much what it means is the FBI were a bunch of wusses and couldn't handle the recoil of the 10 mil. So anyway, what happened was what we got out of the feds adopting the 10 mil is we got the 10mm FBI load, which was essentially the same power as our current 40 Smith & Wesson. See, what happened was they essentially neutered the 10mm and weakened it. And so in 1990, Smith & Wesson came out with their 40 Smith & Wesson. A lot of people refer to the 40 S&W, especially the 10mm buffs, and they call the 40 S&W the 40 short and weak. So anyway, what I have before you is I have 4 commercially available loads that are currently available for the 10mm. 10mm is a bit expensive, it's a bit pricey, but I wanted to show you guys a couple examples and tell you what's available. What I'm going to start off with is I'm going to go from the lowest powered ammunition to the most powerful ammunition. So first off, we have the Federal Premium 10mm, and this is the 180 grain Hydra-Shok jacketed hollow point. This is the quintessential FBI load. This one contains This one has 425 foot-pounds of energy from the muzzle with this round. That is right smack in the middle of 40 S&W range. So this is a great load for 10mm shooters that are sensitive to recoil. So I keep a few boxes of this around so the people that shoot with me that don't want to handle the full house loads can run the FBI load. So this is the FBI loadout. Next we have the Hornaday Critical Defense, and this is a 165 grain FTX round, and it's 1225 feet per second out of the muzzle with a 165 grain bullet. We're pumping out about 550 foot-pounds of energy out of this bad boy. So we are on the top end of 40 S&W numbers with that round. I'm not the biggest fan of Hornady Critical Defense. I'm going to have to do a video on it later on, but in 9mm I don't like it, primarily because it's a short, or it's a lightweight bullet that's not really cruising that fast, and I'm afraid for underpenetration. But in this case, it's 1225 feet per second with a 165 grain bullet. I believe that this will definitely get the job done. So I think Hornady Critical Defense is great for the 10 mil. Next off, we have probably my favorite load for the 10mm commercially available, besides maybe the Remington Golden Jacket, or Golden Bullet. No, the Remington Golden Saber, which I don't have an example of, but This is probably your most affordable and probably your most effective 10mm round. We're looking at 650 foot-pounds out of the muzzle with this ammo here. It's 175 grain jacketed hollow point, and really, really stout round. It's great for hunting. It's great for personal defense, and I think that you're going to be in good hands with the 175 grain silver tip. Okay, next off we have the Buffalo Boar, and this is the heavy 10mm, and you can see it checked right there on the box. This is a 220 grain hard cast bullet that's traveling 1,200 feet per second. That equates to 703 foot-pounds of energy. So I don't know if you guys know exactly how much that is, but your average 9mm is between 350 to 400 foot-pounds of energy. Your average 45 is between 350 and 450. And that's about the same for 40 S&W. So 700 foot-pounds of energy is enough to bring down you know, anything deer-sized or lower. So it's definitely a powerful little round. In fact, the reason why I bought the Buffalo Boar in the hardcast is particularly for bears and for being in bear country, as well as possibly hunting deer with it. So let me show you an example of each one of these. Okay, so let's start off with the Federal Hydra-Shok. Now the Hydra-Shok has undergone a couple of renovations in the past, and one of them is represented here. As you can see, the bullets on the right, they're both Hydra-Shoks, but you can tell that there is a difference in shape of that bullet. The Hydra-Shok, like I said, over the years has gone through a couple of different changes, and that's one of them. But anyway, so these are both fairly older loads, but anyway, you can see the posts right there in the center. It's supposed to cause hydraulic expansion from tissue, is what that's for. Anyway, that is an example of the Federal Hydra-Shok. Let's see if I can show you the stamps on them there. Yep, Federal cartridge, 10mm auto. Okay, so that's the Hydra-Shoks. Now let's go to the critical defense. Here is an example of the critical defense by Hornady, and that's in the 10mm. Now I want to show you the difference between a 10mm and a 9mm. Okay, look at that little baby 9mm next to that 10mm. So it's got about 1mm more in diameter on the bullet, but look how big the casing is compared to that. This thing is chunking a ton of powder inside. Really, really heavy bullet. This is a 165 grain bullet, which isn't really heavy for caliber. The 180 is a heavy for caliber on that one, but I just wanted to show you the difference between the critical defense in the 9mm and the critical defense in the 10mm. Definitely a difference. Oh, let me show you a difference in the Hydra-Shok versus in 9mm versus 10mm there too. There's a Hydra-Shok in both of those. Okay. All right, now let's move over to the Winchester Silvertip. Now the Silvertip, like I said before, is like my carry load of choice. Either of these right here, I think the 10mm in either the Winchester or the critical defense is really going to be a good round to carry. But I just want to show you a close-up of this Winchester Silvertip. It kind of looks sweet. Come on, focus in. There we go. Yeah, nice cavity there. We got, I think, now, I know the Winchester Silvertips have had kind of a reputation in the past of not really opening up well, but we're talking mega velocities. We're probably talking 1,300 feet per second on the muzzle with this thing. It's definitely going to hit hard enough that there will probably be no problems with opening up. You definitely don't want to shoot someone with a full metal jacket in a 10mm, because we're talking probably 3 feet of penetration with a with a full metal jacket. And let me show you the head stamp on that Winchester 10mm auto. Cool. All right, now the Buffalo Boar. Now Buffalo Boar uses brand new Starline brass. If I can show you that, come on, focus. There we go. That's brand spanking new Starline brass. And look at the fat hard cast bullet on that hard cast lead bullet. Now look how deep look how deep that 220 grain bullet sits in that case. You can see where it's delineated. See where the bulge is from the round. That's a huge freaking bullet, dude. They're advertising on their website that this will penetrate 3 feet into flesh. 3 feet, guys. It's crazy. Crazy penetration with this thing. This thing like would bring down just about anything in North America, hunting wise. You could definitely do some major damage with this. And that truncated cone will cause quite a bit of hydraulic damage there too. So anyway, that is those 4 representations. I did want to show you a couple other things. Here is just kind of a truncated reload. This is just a 180 grain full metal jacket. It's in Winchester brass. So just a reload there, just a full metal jacket. And then also just of interesting note, this is a Hornady jacketed hollow point. Okay, and this one that was actually in my grandfather's Delta Elite, his Colt Delta Elite, when he passed away. So when my grandfather passed away, this is what was loaded up in his Colt Delta Elite. So I don't really know what it is. I know that it's a 180 grain bullet, but I'm not sure exactly what the load is on it. So can't give you any further details. But anyway, just thought you guys would be interested in seeing that one as well. Anyway, guys, I am a huge fan of the 10mm. The 40 Smith & Wesson, as a lot of people know, I'm not really the biggest fan of, just because I think that I mean, there's various different reasons, but primarily the reason is I'd rather have a 10mm. And I'd rather reload for 10 mil and shoot that than just introduce a new caliber into my collection and shoot the 40. So I'm a big fan of the 40 caliber in 10mm. So anyway, guys, hopefully you found this interesting. If you have any questions on the 10mm or various ammos out there, I know that Remington Golden Saber puts out a factory load, and I'm pretty sure there's factory loads in other manufacturers as well. These are just very common to find, so I thought that I'd show these to you. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time. See ya.